Hello students, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi. I hope all of you are doing great. So in this session, we will discuss how we can prepare for both UPSC, CSC and State PCS examination at the same time. Before discussing this, let us think for a while. Should we prepare for both this examination at the same time? Because we have only limited amount of time. Time is a limiting factor here, right? So if you ask me, the answer would be yes. Why yes? Suppose you are preparing for UPSC. You must think or must appear for State PCS examination. Why? The first reason is that it is a good plan B. It is a good plan B. Why it is a good plan B? Because the syllabus of State PCS is most closely aligned to the UPSC syllabus, unlike the other examinations such as banking examination. Because in both UPSC and State PCS examination, we have to read general studies. So it is a good plan B. Second, it will give you confidence. If you clear the State PCS examination, it will give you a lot of confidence and you may clear the UPSC CSE in your next attempt. And thirdly, clearing either of these exams gives you an opportunity to serve the nation and to serve the people. And I hope that is why we prepare for civil services examination. So we should not have any aversion to State PCS examination if we are preparing for UPSC, right? And now there are some people who only prepare for State PCS. They think that UPSC is not their cup of tea. We cannot prepare for UPSC. I would say that you need to change your mindset. Why? Because the first reason, many a times we witness that State PCS examination get postponed because of multiple reasons. So there is delay in conducting examination. So you may feel frustrated, right? While UPSC has a well-defined annual calendar where you know when the prelims will be conducted, when the mains will be conducted, right? So you can prepare in best possible manner. So that is why you should think about giving UPSC also. Secondly, if you are preparing for State PCS examination, you are reading geography, history, polity, economy, etc. Now, what you have to do when you think of appearing for UPSC, that you have to read all these subjects in little bit depth and analytical bent of mind. So some 10 to 20% extra efforts are needed. That's what it requires. Now, how to do it? So to know that, we must understand the pattern of examination. What I mean by understanding the pattern of examination is that firstly, we should be aware of the syllabus. We should be familiar with the syllabus. We should know each keyword mentioned in the syllabus, because syllabus gives us a broad outline what all we have to read. It tells us which subjects are to be read. Suppose polity, geography, or suppose Hindi for State PCS examination. So syllabus will clearly tell us what to read and what not to read. Now, the second thing which we must know or which we must do is that PYQ analysis. Analysis of previous year question paper will help you to understand the trend of the exam. What kind of question UPSC asks and what kind of question State PCS asks, once and how they are asking it, and what kind of questions they are asking and how they are asking it. So this difference between what kind of questions and how they are asking will help you to make a strategy as per the need of the exam, whether UPSC or State PCS, right? So understanding the pattern of examination by getting familiarized with syllabus and doing the PYQ analysis is very, very important. This will save lot of time of ours. Lot of time we will be saving, because we will have a clear-cut idea what to do and how to do. Now, moving to the next. Once we know this syllabus and we have done the PYQ analysis, we will be in a position to identify the similarities and differences in UPSC and in State PCS exams. So there are certain overlapping areas. So suppose we have to read polity for both the paper, we have to read geography for both the paper, we have to read history, we have to read economy for both the paper, environment, science and tech, etc. Right? So when you prepare for State PCS, what do you have to do? You have to read it from the state specific context. State specific polity you should know. You should know the geography of the state. Suppose you are preparing for UP, so you should know the polity of UP, you should know the geography of UP, and you should know history of the UP. When you talk about current affairs, so what kind of questions they ask? They will ask about awards, personalities in news. They will ask about indexes, some sports related questions can be there. They will ask about appointment. So who became the president of suppose Sri Lanka recently? So that can be a question. But when you talk about current affairs questions in UPSC, so questions are mostly related to environment, species in news, places in news. So mapping question. Also some of the current affairs from science and tech, defense, they do ask, right? So there are differences and similarities. So we must identify these similarities and differences so that we can prepare an integrated plan. And we clearly know what to do and what not to do for both the exam. Now moving next. We'll see this syllabus. This is the preliminary examination syllabus of UPSC. And this is the syllabus of prelims of UP PCS. So can you see here current events of national and international importance, and in UP current events of national and international importance, history of India, history of India. So almost similar syllabus is there. Almost similar syllabus is there when you compare the syllabus of UPSC and UP PCS, right? So there might be a little change in, suppose what Bihar PCS is asking, or what Tamil Nadu PCS syllabus is, or what Telangana State PCS demands, right? So there may be slight change, but there will be definitely overlap. So only thing, the only difference is that here you see this, candidates are expected to have general awareness about the above subjects with special reference to UP, or with special reference to that particular state for which you are appearing, right? We'll see this through the questions now. So this is the question paper of UP PCS prelims. So what kind of questions they are asking and how they are asking? They are asking about CAG. The audit report of CAG is examined by 4 options. They are asking about index, right? They are asking about which of the following is not a greenhouse gas. So environment related question, but very factual. So most of the questions are one-liner type and factual question. So you need to memorize a lot when you are preparing for State PCS examination. Now see this. This is the question of UPSC prelims. Now this question is related to Chief of Defence Staff, and there are 3 options, 3 statements. So multiple statement questions. So in UPSC prelims you will find multiple statement questions. So most of the question will be multiple statement question. The question will be analytical in nature. The question will require deeper understanding and reading. You see this question, money bill. So there are 4 statements. So again multiple statement question. Now every one of us know about Article 110 that it defines what a money bill is. But many of us might have missed Article 109 that it provides for a special procedure in respect of money bills. So when we are preparing for UPSC, we have to keep this in mind that most of the question will be multiple statement type, most of the question will be analytical in nature, and it needs deeper understanding and reading. So accordingly, we have to chart our plan. Now, after knowing what to read and how to read, the next question is from where to read. That is a very important question, because using the right resources can save our time as well as energy. So let us see what kind of resources we can follow. So we have to use the resources which are covering both the examination, that is UPSC and State PCS examination. So there are certain standard books such as Lakshmikant for Indian polity, Spectrum for modern India. So there are number of such books which we can use for both the paper. So we should refer to these standard resources, and obviously we have to read the NCERTs because they will create a foundation. They will help us in clearing basic concepts. So conceptual clarity we can build by reading NCERTs. And obviously, please remember this, for state specific content, you need to refer some other books. So that depends on which state PCS you are appearing for. So suppose you are appearing for UP and Bihar. So if you want to read the current affairs, so there is a good book, that is Ghatna Chakra. So depending upon the which state PCS you are appearing for, there are some other books which you need to refer, right? So that is that little extra effort is needed if we are preparing for both the examination at the same time. Now, merely reading is not going to help us clear this examination. So what to do? We have to regularly attempt the mock test and do the regular revision, because as they say, the more you sweat in the practice, the less you bleed in a battle. So if you don't want to bleed in the battle, if you want to win the battle, what do you have to do? You have to attempt mock test. Attempting mock test helps us in building confidence, and it will reduce the anxiety, because by attempting mocks, what you are doing, you are trying to create real exam scenario, right? So they will build confidence. Also, attempting mocks will help you assess your preparation level. You will be in a position to identify your strong and weak areas and accordingly work upon them. So regular mock practice is very much essential. Now coming to the revision. Again, the syllabus is very huge when you talk about UPSC or State PCS examination. It is vast, it is huge, and merely reading once, we are not able to retain such a huge information. So what to do? We have to read. Suppose we are reading polity, so we have to read it multiple times from Lakshmikant. And please remember this, multiple reading also helps you in remembering certain facts, data, examples, which can be of good use when you are writing your mains answer, whether it is of UPSC or State PCS. And lastly, if you want result, please remember this, revision is the key to result. So without revision, getting the positive outcome is very difficult in civil services examination, whether UPSC or State PCS. Now we know what to read, how to read, and from where to read. And we also know that merely reading is not sufficient. We have to revise, we have to attempt the mock test. Now the most important question is that how to manage time. So let us see how to do the time management, because we have limited time since we are preparing for both the examination, right? So what you have to do? You have to prioritize the important task. That is the first step. How you can do it? Like you have already analyzed the PYQs, you have gone through the syllabus. So by doing that, by following that step, you know which topics or which areas are common to both the paper or both the exam. So you can give higher weightage or you can give priority to these topics. Suppose polity, geography, economics, history. So in both UPSC and State PCS examination, we will find question from the polity and geography. So these are the common areas. Also, to identify the important task, you should also remember which exam is close. Suppose State PCS exam is nearby, so you should give more priority to state specific topics, state specific current affairs, or state specific polity, state specific geography. So the first step is that we have to identify, we have to prioritize the important task. So for example, you have identified that you will read polity. Now it is not possible that you can read the entire Lakshmikant in a day or even in a week, right? So what you have to do? You have to break it down further. So suppose in polity you decide that you will read fundamental right and DPSP. So by breaking it down, you have created a manageable task for yourself. So you have well-defined targets, you have well-defined tasks. So, and please ensure that you are reading these two topics, fundamental right or DPSPs, for example, within a particular study slot or time slot. It can be of 2 hours or it can be of 3 hours, depending on your capability, for how much long you can sit in a particular slot. And try to ensure that you will read for that 2 hours itself, whether you are able to complete these two topics or not. If you are not able to complete, you will not read any further and you will switch to the next task. Why I am saying so? Because it will create a sense of urgency. It will create a sense of urgency and you will be more focused and concentrated while reading these topics within a particular time frame. So you have set a deadline for yourself, and for the next time you will ensure that you are completing these tasks within the stipulated time, and this approach we call as time blocking. So you have blocked the time, you have fixed that in particular 2 hours or in 3 hours I will read only these topics. So this will create a sense of urgency and you will be able to complete tasks in a timely manner, since we have a limited time. So time is an asset for us and we have to use it wisely. Now you can also incorporate breaks in your study slot, in your study schedule. Why? Because research says that human brain, it can give better outcome only for certain duration or extent. After that, if you try to push, it will be counterproductive. So we need to have breaks in between our study slot so that our mind can relax and we can restart with the new energy, right? Also, please remember, you can also utilize active learning techniques. Active learning techniques. What are these active learning techniques? Suppose whatever you are reading, try to summarize it in your own words. You can teach whatever you have read to someone else. Also you can make mind map and you can ask probing questions. So this will help you to remember things, and in long run it will save your time, right? So suppose fundamental rights you are reading, so you can ask the probing questions. What is fundamental right? What happens if fundamental right is violated? What recourse we have if someone violates our fundamental right? Can we directly go to the Supreme Court? So like that, if you ask probing questions, you will be in a position to retain the information for a longer duration, and in the long run it will save your time and energy as well. And lastly, please remember this, not everyone can read for 2 hours continuously or 3 hours continuously or 4 hours continuously. So you need to experiment and adapt. You need to see for how long you can sit in a particular time slot, in a particular study slot. So accordingly experiment and adapt. Adapt with these techniques as well, right? Now, these are the time management techniques, and please ensure you are also following this SMART goals framework, which we have already discussed in one of the earlier videos of ours. So what is this SMART? Means you are whatever you are reading, it is very specific. So targeted task you have. It is measurable as well. It is achievable as well. So you should not have the tasks which are over ambitious, otherwise you will feel frustrated, right? And it should be relevance. So relevance will be determined on the basis of PYQs, syllabus, or which exam is closer, right? And obviously, most importantly, you need to track your progress. So without tracking your progress, you won't be able to identify whether you are on the right track or not. So tracking is very important. So please follow this SMART goal framework as well. Now, these are the techniques and framework for effective time management. I just want to tell you one more thing, right? That please have a predefined weekly schedule with you, right? You can see here that on Monday, suppose in the morning slot, you are reading some common subjects which are applicable to both UPSC and State PCS, right? So you are reading some common subject. In afternoon, suppose you are reading optional subject. In evening slot, you are reading PCS specific topics such as GK geography or polity of state polity or state geography. You can have a night slot as well. So in night, you can do miscellaneous activities. By miscellaneous activities, I mean you can read the current affairs, you can do the answer writing, you can attempt the mock test, likewise. So for Monday, create a plan. For Tuesday, create a plan. For Wednesday, create a plan, right? You should have a predefined schedule for 7 days at least. So once you have this 7 days schedule with you in advance, you will have the clarity that what you have to read the next morning, and you will be at your study table on a particular point of time. It will ensure consistency and dedication in your preparation. So this is how you can manage for both UPSC CSE and State PCS examination. Finally, I just want to tell you, please enjoy the process. Thank you.